Upon the discovery of peculiar black eggs on his land, a farmer is intrigued as to what creature could be responsible. His curiosity peaks further when the eggs hatch, leaving him so stunned that it brings him to tears. Farmer Tom had always held a dream of operating a successful egg business. His family's farm, quaintly situated in a picturesque valley of Georgia, had been handed down through generations. However, recent times had proven tough, and the once flourishing farm was barely surviving. High food prices, surging competition, and a dwindling demand for his traditional brown and white eggs had severely impacted his business. When he unexpectedly stumbles upon a dozen black eggs scattered across his farm, he remains astonished on the spot for a good 10 minutes. He had never witnessed or heard of such eggs before. His chickens had never laid anything comparable. Instantly, his mind raced with questions, wondering if he was looking at snake eggs. He hurriedly scanned the surroundings, eyes darting over the tall grass for any signs of slithering serpents. The wind rustled the leaves, and the faint chirping of crickets seemed to grow louder in the tense silence. His heart pounded as he crouched lower, feeling the rough texture of the earth beneath his fingers. Yet, despite the eerie quiet, it seemed that whatever creature had laid these eggs had long abandoned them. Farmer Tom was left in a whirl of confusion. On one hand, the peculiar black eggs might hatch into menacing creatures that he would later have to chase off his property. The thought sent a shiver down his spine, imagining the potential chaos. Conversely, a flicker of hope sparked within him. These could be the turning point for his farm's prosperity. His mind began to swirl with possibilities. People might be intrigued enough to pay more for these unique eggs, their curiosity adding an exciting twist to their scrambled breakfasts. The idea of selling black eggs, especially around Halloween, danced in his thoughts. Perhaps they would spend more on the poultry too, fascinated by the novelty and rarity of such an unusual find. Could they be the path to riches if these eggs hatched black chicks? Of course, the complication would be if anyone else claimed those eggs before he did. Though Tom wasn't a thief, he also knew that these eggs were found on his property. His curiosity wouldn't allow him to keep them exposed for all to see. So, after quickly apologizing to the unknown creature responsible, he carried the eggs to his truck. His plan was to place them in his farm's incubator and anticipate the surprising discovery they held. Over the subsequent days, Tom dedicatedly monitored the eggs, ensuring the temperature and humidity accurately replicated the warmth they would receive from a hen. With every sunrise, he would check on them, his spirits lifting at the sight of the shiny, undamaged black shells. He couldn't help daydreaming about the curious beings that would hatch from these eggs. Could they be entirely black as well? In quieter moments, Tom pondered the fascination these precious eggs could stir. He envisioned people swarming to his farm, each hoping to be the first to witness the marvel of completely black chickens. The thought of crowds gathered around, their eyes wide with amazement, brought a faint smile to his face. Nonetheless, Tom knew not to get carried away. The eggs still had time before they hatched, and he needed to remain patient. Days turned into weeks as Tom eagerly anticipated the black eggs hatching. The incubator, a small, warm haven, was his constant companion. He meticulously checked the temperature and humidity, feeling the warmth radiate from the machine. The projected hatching date arrived and passed without any signs of life. Every day, Tom examined the incubator, his heart pounding with each hopeful glance. He yearned to observe cracks on the shells or hear the faint, subtle chirping of chicks. Yet, the eggs remained static, their glossy black shells almost mocking his anticipation. As days stretched into weeks with no change, Tom's anxiety grew. His mind was a whirlwind of doubt and worry. Had he made a grave mistake in bringing those eggs indoors? Were they even chicken eggs? The thought gnawed at him, casting a shadow over his every action. His confidence began to waver, and the initial excitement was replaced by a heavy sense of dread. The questions plagued him. Was he compromising the well-being of his entire farm for a whim? Doubts began to erode his assurance, leaving him in a state of constant unease. Tom's daily routine had morphed into a relentless cycle of care and concern. Each day started before sunrise with him, confirming the temperature and humidity in the incubator. Despite his escalating worry, he tried to uphold his optimism, assuring himself that the eggs were a blessing rather than a misfortune. After tending to the eggs, Tom carried on with his other duties. He fed and watered his chickens, cleaned the coops, and gathered the usual brown and white eggs. His farm was still in hardship, and the burden of upkeep was getting heavier. Every chore felt more laborious than the last, and his anxiety over the black eggs overshadowed everything he did. One cold dawn, Tom awoke feeling exceptionally feeble. His head pulsated and his body felt warm from fever. He endeavoured to ignore the discomfort, but soon realised he couldn't continue his daily duties. His constant worry and sleep deprivation had just become too overwhelming, leaving him bedridden, unable to look after his farm. Days became indistinct while Tom was confined to his bed. His mind became hazy with fever. His once active farm started showing neglect signs. Weeds overran his farm, the chicken coops got dirtier, and the feed bin was almost empty. The usual egg production dwindled as the animals' well-being fell into decline from Tom's absence. The close-knit community around Tom's farm soon began noticing the changes. Neighbours began voicing their concern over the once thriving farm, now slipping into disrepair. Jake, a dear friend and neighbour of Tom's for many years, was the first one to take the initiative. He made the decision to check up on the farm to see if Tom required any help. As he neared the farmhouse, visual indications of neglect were evident, raising his alarm. Knowing something was horribly amiss, Jake ventured towards the house and knocked on the door, only to find an extremely frail Tom who could barely rise from his bed. Understanding the serious nature of the issue, Jake promptly took control. He assured Tom that he would look after the farm while Tom took time to recuperate. Jake urged Tom to rest and regain his strength. He completely immersed himself in the farm work. He took care of the chickens, scrubbed the coops clean, and ensured the animals were nourished. He didn't hesitate to involve other neighbours, reaching out with a mix of gratitude and desperation, asking for their assistance in maintaining the farm operations. The community, always tight-knit and supportive, responded with unwavering solidarity. Neighbours arrived daily, their voices mingling with the clucking of chickens and the hum of farm machinery. The air was filled with the scent of fresh hay and the earthy aroma of tilled soil, a testament to their collective efforts. However, in his debilitated state, Tom's mind was a fog of fever and fatigue. Amidst the chaos of organising help and ensuring the farm's survival, he forgot to inform his friends about the intriguing black eggs resting quietly in the incubator. The eggs, nestled in their warm, controlled environment, seemed almost forgotten, a silent enigma waiting to reveal their secret. Jake, a pillar of strength and reliability, took charge with determination. His hands, calloused from years of farm work, moved with practiced ease as he fed the chickens and repaired the coops. He coordinated with the neighbours, ensuring every task was managed efficiently. Yet, amidst the flurry of activity, a sense of curiosity lingered at the back of his mind. What else had Tom been dealing with before falling ill? Soon, Jake and the rest of the neighbourhood would be in for a startling surprise. The mystery of the black eggs, hidden away in the incubator, was about to unravel. The anticipation built with each passing day, the unspoken question hanging in the air. What lay within those peculiar black shells? The answer, when it came, would astonish them all and change the course of Tom's farm forever. Late one evening, while wrapping up the tasks for the day, Jake heard a soft chirping sound originating from the chicken coop. His heart palpitations quickened as he hastened towards the sound. Holding a flashlight, he surveyed the nesting rows. The chirping got louder. Finally, his eyes reached the incubator, where he noticed movement within one of the mysterious black eggs. The sight left him bewildered, wondering where Tom could have found such peculiar eggs. Jake raced back to the farmhouse to inform Tom about the bizarre eggs in his incubator beginning to hatch. But what was actually inside them? Tom, too, couldn't provide an answer. Despite his frail condition, his eyes twinkled with anticipation. Maybe this would bring about the change he needed. During his recovery period, Tom delegated all the information he had about the peculiar black eggs to Jake. From their initial finding to the sleepless nights he had been tormented, worrying that this could potentially destroy his farm. He was relieved to have his friend's support now that the eggs were finally in the process of hatching. If something adverse came out, they would help him eliminate it. But if something extraordinary emerged, they could all partake in his jubilation. 2 days later, when Tom was now strong enough to rise from his bed, he joined Jake, who was knelt by the incubator, their faces merely inches away from the hatching eggs. The sight that behold was the first chick emerging. Upon realizing that the entities inside the eggs were nothing but birds, both men heaved a sigh of relief. However, their breath hitched when they observed the chick's physical appearance. Its feathers had a glossy black sheen that glistened under the dull lighting. The little bird's eyes fluttered open and it emitted a tiny, victorious chirp. Sequentially, the other eggs began to crack open. Each emerging bird was a wonder of nature, donned in sleek black feathers and possessing bright, inquisitive eyes. The process of hatching felt almost hypnotic. The birds battled their way out of the eggs, demonstrating grit and determination, mirroring Tom's own life journey. Spellbound, he watched the final bird break out of its shell. Jake hastily grabbed his phone, eagerly looking for answers online. After a breathless moment, he announced, "These might be Samani chicks," his voice notably shaking. A confused Tom turned towards Jake. He hadn't heard of Samani chicks before. Jake, suppressing a chuckle, enlightened him about these Indonesian birds known for their unique jet-black features, from eyes and beak to feathers, even their bones. These features made them incredibly rare and valuable. Their eggs could fetch a staggering price, and he was sure that people would gladly pay just to witness these exquisite birds. While Jake couldn't pinpoint how these eggs had ended up on Tom's farm, he firmly believed that they held the solution to all of Tom's monetary troubles. As Jake spoke, emotions washed over Tom like a tidal wave, and tears welled up in his eyes. He had struggled and sacrificed so much over the years, enduring countless sleepless nights and moments of despair. Now, in the fragile forms of the Samani chicks, he held the potential of a promising future in his hands. Their glossy black feathers shimmered under the dim light, their tiny bodies radiating a sense of rare beauty that was almost otherworldly. Seeing the Samani chicks, so rare yet so beautiful, brought Tom a profound sense of relief and happiness he hadn't felt in years. His heart swelled with gratitude and hope, emotions he had nearly forgotten. He openly wept, tears streaming down his weathered cheeks and falling onto the straw-laden floor, creating tiny, dark spots that quickly vanished. The weight of the situation pressed heavily upon him, but in a good way, as if a great burden had finally been lifted. The gravity of the situation was hitting him with full force. His farm, which had been on the verge of failure, was now blessed with a second chance. The black eggs had given birth to more than just chicks. They had initiated a new era for Tom's farm. As he gazed at the precious little birds, Tom felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The future, once bleak and uncertain, now glowed with the promise of prosperity and renewal. Tom knew that these extraordinary chicks were not just a stroke of luck, but a testament to his resilience and unwavering hope. The news about these extraordinary hatchlings spread swiftly amongst the locals. Neighbours who had supported Tom during his tough times flocked to the farm to witness the unique chicks. The Samanis, with their dark feathers and remarkable characteristics, were met with gasps of admiration. Tom's renewed optimism wasn't merely about monetary stability, but also about a dream that was nearly lost and the passion he'd put into his venture. The Samani represented a new beginning and an opportunity to rebuild and prosper. As Tom observed the little birds explore their unfamiliar surroundings and casually peck at the straw, he felt a sense of accomplishment that had eluded him for years. Over the following days, Tom painstakingly cared for the chicks, recognizing the importance of looking after the birds to help them thrive. He built them a specific habitat, complete with warm lamps and new bedding. He kept a record of their growth progression and observed patterns in their development and behavior. Their glossy black feathers dazzled in the sun, and their energetic and interested demeanor added a refreshing dynamic to the farm. However, it didn't take long for Tom to observe that there was something incredibly distinct about these chicks. Their unique features went beyond their gorgeous looks. The chicks were unusually resilient, thriving in circumstances that would be difficult for other breeds to endure. They developed faster and were more robust than Tom had initially anticipated, demonstrating a vigor that differentiated them from the rest. Their feathers were not just black, they had a shimmering varnish. The light gleamed reflective hints of green and purple off their feathers when the conditions were right. It almost seemed as though they held a dusting of magic in their feathers. Tom meticulously recorded these findings, his journal quickly filling with notes and observations. He noted the glossy sheen of the chicks' feathers, the striking contrast of their bright eyes, and their robust health. Each detail was carefully documented, from their accelerated growth to their unusually resilient nature. The pages of his notebook were filled with sketches and annotations, a testament to the extraordinary qualities of his Ayam-Cemani flock. He acknowledged that his Ayam-Cemani flock was extraordinary, even among their exceptional breed. Their quality and the rarity of their breed constituted a potential treasure trove. As he reviewed his notes, a sense of pride and excitement bubbled within him. These birds were more than just a stroke of luck. They were a beacon of hope for his farm's future. The uniqueness of their shimmering black feathers, which gleamed with hints of green and purple under the sunlight, added to their allure. News about these incredible chicks spread rapidly, carried by the whispers of amazed visitors and the excited chatter of neighbours. The once quiet farm became a hub of activity, with people travelling from far and wide to catch a glimpse of the rare birds. The local community buzzed with the story of Tom's miraculous discovery, and soon the news reached beyond the confines of the valley. Journalists and poultry enthusiasts began to arrive, eager to see the legendary Ayam-Cemani chicks for themselves. As the attention grew, Tom felt a mix of exhilaration and nervousness. The farm was suddenly in the spotlight, and the pressure to maintain the high standards of care for his prized flock was immense. Yet, amidst the flurry of visitors and media attention, he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment. The years of struggle and uncertainty were now replaced with hope and opportunity. His farm, once on the brink of failure, was now poised to become a symbol of success and innovation in the world of poultry breeding. One afternoon, Mr. Harris, who claimed to be a wealthy investor with a particular fascination in rare and exotic species, paid Tom a visit. He was intrigued by Tom's Ayam-Cemani chicks and was keen on getting a first-hand view. Mr. Harris was instantly fascinated by the sight of the Ayam-Cemani. He marvelled at their unusual beauty and remarked their notable health and stoutness. He then turned to Tom and, looking at him with an intrigued glare, stated, "These chicks are remarkable, nothing like what I've seen before." Tom was overwhelmed with pride. He agreed with Mr. Harris's remarks, explaining that he invested all his energy in their upbringing. Shaken by what he had witnessed, Mr. Harris made an offer to Tom. He proposed to support Tom's farm financially in exchange for a share in the future profits from the Ayam-Cemani sales and hatchery programs. Tom's pulse quickened as Mr. Harris tabulated his plan. The proposition was one of benefaction and would secure Tom's financial longevity. It would also guarantee the stability and expansion of the farm. Tom attentively listened to the proposition, considering the offer. This was the opportunity he had been longing for. In an unexpected twist of fate, Tom was given an opportunity that could not only save his farm, but make it prosperous beyond his wildest imagination. When he sealed a partnership with Mr. Harris, he felt a burden had been lifted. This collaboration meant that his Ayam-Cemani chicks had the opportunity to bring recognition and wealth to his farm. However, The journey had just begun. On a bright day, as the sun cast a warm, golden light over the farm, Tom was busy tending to his flock. The air was filled with the soft clucking of chickens and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. As he moved from coop to coop, ensuring every bird was healthy and well-fed, something unusual caught his eye. One chick, nestled among its peers, stood out. It was a tad bigger than the others, its feathers radiating a more prominent and mesmerizing gleaming black hue that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Intrigued by this, Tom decided to take a second and more detailed look. He gently scooped the chick into his hands, feeling its warmth and slight weight. As he examined it closely, the feathers seemed almost iridescent, reflecting shades of green and purple as he turned it in the light. The chick's eyes were bright and alert, a deeper black than its siblings, giving it an air of mystery and distinction. Tom's heart raced with excitement and curiosity. What made this chick different? Why did it shine more brilliantly than the others? As he continued to observe, he noticed the chick's demeanor was also different. It seemed more confident, almost regal in its movements. It was as if the chick was aware of its unique status among the flock. Thoughts raced through Tom's mind. Could this chick possess a rare genetic trait? Was it a sign of even greater potential for his Ayam Samani flock? The possibilities were exhilarating. He felt a surge of hope and anticipation, the thrill of discovery coursing through him. This could be another breakthrough, a confirmation that his hard work and dedication were paying off in unexpected and wonderful ways. With a careful touch, Tom returned the chick to its peers, his mind already buzzing with plans to investigate further. He knew he needed to document this discovery meticulously to understand what made this chick so special. The day, which had begun like any other, now held the promise of new opportunities and insights, all sparked by the gleaming black feathers of one extraordinary chick. As he closely studied the chick, he was instantly drawn to its captivating blue eyes, which contradicted the usual dark eyes of the Ayam Samani species. A wave of excitement filled him as he understood he might have discovered something unique. Without wasting any time, he called a poultry genetics expert to study his find. The genetic expert arrived and performed a variety of tests, revealing astonishing results. The chick had a rare genetic mutation that not only enhanced its visual appeal, but also blessed it with greater resistance and faster growth. In short, this chick was the perfect example of the Ayam Samani breed, and its qualities were unparalleled. As soon as the word spread about this extraordinary chick, people from every corner got excited. Collectors, poultry breeders, and enthusiastic fans, all were keen to witness and possibly get their hands on this amazing bird. The demand for the bird spiked, and off it flew in, each one more impressive than the last. This discovery of a unique genetic mutation catapulted Tom's farm into the leading position in the rare poultry marketplace for the foreseeable future. The news spread like wildfire, drawing attention from collectors, breeders, and enthusiasts from across the globe. The high value and demand for his Ayam Samani chicks, now enhanced by the extraordinary mutation, secured his farm's long-term success. As orders poured in and offers for partnerships flooded his inbox, Tom felt a profound sense of accomplishment. He could rest assured about his farm's sustainability, a comforting thought that brought him immense relief. The constant worry that had plagued him for years began to dissipate. Each morning, as he walked through his farm, he noticed the subtle changes that signified growth and prosperity. The once weary coops were now bustling with activity, the vibrant black feathers of his prized flock gleaming in the sunlight. The farm, which had teetered on the edge of failure, was now a beacon of hope and innovation. Tom's thoughts often drifted back to the moment he discovered the unusual chick. The sense of awe and excitement he felt then had transformed into a deep-seated confidence. He knew his hard work and perseverance had paid off in ways he had never imagined. The farm's future was no longer a source of anxiety, but a canvas of endless possibilities. Investors and industry leaders began to visit, their curiosity piqued by the farm's success. Tom welcomed them with a mixture of pride and humility, eager to share his journey and the remarkable story of the ayam cemani. As he guided them through the coops, explaining the meticulous care and attention given to each bird, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. This was not just about financial stability. It was about building a legacy, a testament to his resilience and dedication. With the farm's newfound success, Tom started envisioning further expansions. He planned to reinvest the profits into modernizing the facilities, ensuring the highest standards of care for his flock. Educational tours and breeding programs were also on the horizon, aimed at sharing the unique characteristics of the ayam cemani with the world. Now, as he stood at the edge of his fields, looking out over the thriving farm, Tom felt a profound peace. The journey had been arduous, filled with uncertainties and challenges, but the rewards were beyond his wildest dreams. His farm, once a symbol of struggle, was now a thriving testament to the power of perseverance and hope. Each day, as he saw the magnificent birds scratching at the ground, a strong feeling of satisfaction came over him. Contrary to all odds, he had not only saved his farm, but transformed it into a symbol of success and prosperity. What an unforeseen turn of events. Do you have a tale about someone who took a leap of faith on something unconventional, hoping it would be a game changer? Share it with us in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. For now, though, it's time for us to say goodbye. See you in our next video.